You know, for several weeks now, I've had this memory of me when I was 8. That's like eons ago, centuries ago. So far back, I don't remember it. I must have been 8 years old, maybe 7, maybe 9, I don't recall. My parents decided I needed to go to a day camp. So they brought me to this YMCA day camp, which was located in either Greenwich or maybe North Castle. They're both right on the border of each other. It was right by the Westchester County Airport in New York, okay? And look, you gotta go, Bobby, that's it, you're going, okay? And that's because I was a little chunky, maybe a little more than chunky, okay? And they figured the exercise would do me good. So Dad pulls up, drops me off, and unlike today where we walk them in and make sure everything's okay, I was off. I walk into this lodge or this main building, and all of a sudden, what do I see? I see all these American Indian headdresses. I mean, they were gorgeous, okay? They belonged to the councilors, and I don't know if they made them, I don't know if they bought them. To this day, I have a feeling that they ended up making them, because these were very creative people. And they also had, I was also given a stick with holes drilled in it. And I was told if I, as I accomplished certain things, like we made bracelets, different kinds of bracelets with beads and stuff, I would get a feather in that coup stick. And I saw some people had these beautiful, full coup sticks. I'm like, God, I gotta have those. I want one of those headdresses. Especially one, I was really drawn to it. You know, I felt it. Anyway, you know, we did a lot of activities, swimming in the pool. Oh boy, was I feeling self-conscious going swimming. I felt like I was fat. Oh hell, I was fat. And I was self-conscious about it. And that's probably why I was there, to try to knock some weight off of me. Anyway, the whole theme of that day camp was around the American Indian. And when I first walked into that lodge and I saw it, I felt like I got hit in the heart with a wrecking ball. I belong here. I had a connection here. I don't know any of these people. There was nobody else there I knew. I was alone. None of my neighbors, none of my friends, nobody I knew. Relatives, nobody went to that camp. Anyway, I don't recall. I do recall trying to make some of those bracelets, and it was a little awkward, and I don't think I totally did. I wouldn't know. Many are saying, well, wouldn't you still have that? No, because my mother, my Italian mother, threw everything out on me. I was snorkeling in Lake George once, New York, and I found it what's known as a grape shot, which is a musket ball. And I found that, and I had it. She threw that out too, okay? So, no, I wouldn't have these things still. But from that day on, we played cowboys and Indians. Now I'm really dating myself. And I always wanted to be the Indian. I like being the Indian. I felt that connection. Okay, fast forward to a couple of weeks ago, and I gotta tell this story. And I did. I wrote it up on Facebook. And then I realized that at one point, I had 2 past life regressions, okay? The first one, I was a sailor in probably the 1800s, and I was a young sailor, and I met a woman who was the captain's daughter, and we were connected, and I wrote this whole thing. I sat down to write what I call a one-page observation. It turned into 16 pages. I didn't want to write books. I had no interest in writing books, but I'm writing this thing. I got 16 pages. I'm telling a story. All of a sudden, I see myself back in the 1800s, and I'm a sailor, and this woman, I'm connected to her, and there was past life regressions written in that book. The book is called The Lunch, and I have several past life regressions that I talk about. Okay, that kind of made sense with the first one I went to, the past life regression. The second one, I saw myself as an Indian running through the forest, being chased by others, okay, and hiding, worried about getting away. I finally get away, I finally escape, and I come out into this clearing, and there's a beautiful American Indian woman standing there. And we touched, our eyes met, I fell in love, I felt the warmth. I knew that I was connected to her at some point, okay? And the past life regression went on a little bit more than that, if I could remember, I'd tell you, but I know not longer than that. So yeah, so there's always been that connection. I'm pretty sure. Look, I'm not one of these people that like, oh, okay, I'm a white guy and I'm going to be, attached to the American Indian. No, they could care less, and I'm not that guy. Okay, they don't need me to feel better about themselves. Not even close. Okay, I don't do that. But that connection. So at one point as a photographer, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do something to honor the American Indian. And I came up with this project. I was shooting 4x5 film at the time. I have one person where I was going to shoot them as we're dressed today, do a multi-image on the film as they were dressed back in the day in the regalia. And I got this one guy. He was only half American Indian. He had nothing. He had no regalia. I had to come up with something. I had to make something up. And then I ran into this man who was running a local powwow. And we talked. I showed him what I wrote. He wanted me to make some changes. They were good. He was from a tribe from Rhode Island, by the way. And he was going to introduce me to his reenactors or his actors in the powwow. And these guys have beautiful regalia and stuff. And I had 5 that were definitely interested in doing this project. And I was showing the print around of Hans. And one woman at a booth said, you know what, very insightful. You really should show them in the regalia. You should get them in the real regalia. This doesn't really make it, okay? Unfortunately, that project was going to cost me $5,000. The models were going to get $100 each, okay? And then they were going to get prints, whatever prints they wanted from the shoot, plus I had film, plus it was going to cost me $5,000, bottom line. Didn't have that kind of money. So that project never got finished. It's the only regret I have. But you start to see the theme here. I've always been connected to that American Indian since I was 8 years old to today. Now this memory is the child's memory I'm talking about. It's posted on my Facebook pages. I think all 3 of them actually, 3 out of 4. And I carried it around. And Bob, you got to tell the story. You got to tell the story. You got to, get this thing out about the American Indian, the connection you feel, okay? And I think I said it before. I forget already. I did a DNA test just to see that and a few other things. I got 0 DNA connection with the American Indian, 0. So like, I'm not like claiming I'm part Indian. Not at all. That's not what I'm saying here. But I do have a connection from what I believe is a past life, because I can't. There's no explaining it. My feeling. As a matter of fact, I have 2 art pieces of American Indians. One, an artist who I worked with in the Diner She's a Waitress did when I bought it off her. The second one is of an American Indian chief, and beautiful, colorful picture. It was at an NRA meeting, and we have a silent auction, and that picture's there, and I gotta have that picture, man. I don't know why I gotta have that picture. And sure enough, I was being outbid by this one guy. Okay, so I just walked away like I was disgusted. Guy walked and went back to his table. Last like 30 seconds, I jumped in and I outbid him, and I got that painting, and it's up in my office. I look at it all the time. I also realized I live on Indian Hill Road, okay? Apparently, from what I'm told, the American Indians lived in this area, okay? And I had a kid once, a friend's kid, went out back with a BB gun. He shot the BB in the ground, and he dug it up to see how deep it went, and he found a beautiful black granite arrowhead. I mean, it was gorgeous. I offered to buy it from him, but he wouldn't sell it. So there's always been, that connection. Maybe there's something more here. Before I came out as caul bearer, I had a woman, a medium here, one of the really good ones actually. And she said there's a soul here, there's a spirit here. And I know that because doors open, things happen in my house, so probably more than one. I said, so who is this person? She said it's an Indian. So I got some kind of connection, and I'm sure the connection, because we know it's not DNA, we know it's not, heritage. I'm sure it's from a past life connection. Whether you believe this or not, I'm going to tell you, it really feels good. It warms my heart to have these connections that I have, and all this crazy other stuff that I go through as a caul bearer. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story. It's a little long. Always remain hopeful, never hopeless. Always be optimistic, never pessimistic. Bye for now.